Welcome back to another episode of Out of the Rut. I'm Xavier.
I'm Ron.
And today we are at the legendary Second City here in Chicago, chatting with Sarah and Justin of Comedy Dance Chicago.
Hello.
Oh, excited to chat with you guys today.
Nice.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, what's today? Gosh, all my days are running together. Happy Monday.
It is a Monday.
Happy Monday, guys. How are we feeling today?
Great.
Honestly, fabulous.
We're feeling fabulous, good.
It's
Ron's
sunshiny.
caffeinated, so that's good.
Caffeinated and it's
Yeah.
really nice weather out there, so
Heck yeah.
day.
I mean,
Look
how
how comfy he looks. Yeah, super cozy.
I know the baggy sweatshirt, the coffee. It's like I want to be at home bundled up, but it's 50 degrees and sunny in Chicago.
I know. Perfect day to be in a dark theater.
Perfect day. Hell yeah. Excited to sit down and chat with you guys and talk Comedy Dance Chicago. You guys don't know this, but this is actually my second time interviewing Sarah and Justin because I fucked up the first recording. So excited to kind of redo and run it back, but this time with Ron. Friendship. So always, like we start out with most episodes of Out of the Rut, ruts. What, you guys have any experience with them? Thoughts about them? Talk us through some ruts.
Yeah, actually, can I go first? Because this is why.
Yes, you can go first.
Thank you. I am a year to the week of leaving my corporate job.
Yep, there we go. Snaps
Nice.
for that. Shout out to the
so
comment section.
It has been a year. I was unhappy, wanted to try being an actor and a creator full time, and we're doing it.
Dude, we're a year and a
doing
week
it.
into it,
Yeah.
and we're thriving, vibing, and high-fiving.
Absolutely. Yes,
Hell yeah.
That was a good high five.
Oh, that was a
was.
solid one. What about you, Just?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, the biggest ruts, similar idea. I've been trying for a long time to acting, dancing, comedy, whatever it might be. And I, since then, have had 2 children. Through sex. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Call them my little receipts. It's great. What? Is that too far? You don't like that? My wife loves that joke. But in general, you always get those back and forth thoughts, right? You get like, oh, am I doing enough for these kids? Am I going back? Like all those vibes. And so there's been many times like comedy dance. Other times I'm like, am I wasting my life? Am I wasting these moments? No, I'm not.
No.
But you get those 11:30 at night vibe thoughts.
Yeah, they creep in at the most inopportune moments.
You know, I've had to learn though, like after 9:30 p.m., don't take your own thoughts seriously. And when you're tired or hungry or constipated, no important life decisions should be made at that time.
Honestly, rules to live by.
Yeah, what if you're constipated? Why constipated? Just the grumpies?
I mean, we're children. We're every age we've ever been, right? So when your children are angry, those are typically 3 of the things they need:
I love
food,
that.
a bathroom, a bed,
Okay.
Honestly,
a hug.
logic, I checks out. The logic checks out on that. No, I love that. Any other ruts or any specific ruts you guys can recall being in where it's like, obviously you mentioned being in the corporate world wanting to shift, but any other ruts really that jump out at you?
But more details on that. It wasn't just like the corporate rut. It was also just a mental health rut. I wasn't doing what I felt like I was good at.
Meant to do.
Yeah. I was just generally unhappy. I wasn't myself. I wasn't the person I knew I should be. I was angry. I was anxious. And so it just, I needed the push to make a change, and I did, and it's been great all around.
Hey, well, congrats to a year and a week to that.
What made you take that leap? Like, what position in your life were you at where you were just sitting there and you're like, you know what, I just need to make a change?
Well, I mean, I just got to the point where I was at a friend's daughter's concert.
I was about to say, I knew we knew this specific moment. Come on, give it to us, sister.
And I was sitting upstairs in the balcony by myself, and they were a great orchestra. They were playing incredible. They're super talented professionals, and they were playing this song that just was so epic. And it was like, and it ended with this big, and I realized, like for the last 20 seconds, I was not there. I was somewhere else, and I was just like chewing my gum like so fast, and I was like, and I just popped out of it, and I was like, oh, I don't know where I was, but I was not here, and I think I need to to change something. So yeah.
That's so crazy because like I have a similar kind of experience like when it came to the decision of dropping out of college. Like I was sitting in this black box theater of the program that I was a part of, and I remember like the music building up and like it was like the pre-show music, and like I remember getting lost in thought and like going into almost like a trance.
Yeah.
And I remember when I snapped out of it, I was like, I need to drop out. I was like, I am miserable here. I need to get out of this place.
Yeah.
And it was literally like that moment. It just like hits you. It's like, this is not where I'm meant to be right now. I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
No, it took me a while. Sorry, it took me a while after that, but I did have family and friends, and Justin being one of those friends, and a life coach that I hired.
Hey, you know what?
Push me.
Shout out to life coaches, man.
Yeah.
So what was it about comedy that like drew you to it? Like you have a corporate job, and then it's like that's a big jump. That's like going from a corporate job to something like this is huge.
Well, this was already happening.
I was about to say you were
okay.
you were doing these things kind of parallel
Yeah.
a little bit, right?
okay.
Balancing the corporate life with the comedy life.
I would say in general, most of us have that exact same experience of like, okay, how do we balance these moments of, okay, we're going to comedy dance and be idiots on the side of, we have like PhDs in our group. We have, we have engineers, architects.
Insurance, people that are high up.
All
Yeah,
sorts of
how
people.
big
I
is
don't know
Comedy
what to
Dance
do.
Chicago? Like how many part of your crew?
We have 18 on our roster currently.
Dude, that's a sick number. That's not a small group. Like that's a pretty dense group of people to coordinate and everything.
Yeah, they're all dense.
They're all dense.
Very
Got
dense.
him.
Especially
Got
up
him
here,
good.
right here in the noggins, really dense up there, dude.
Yeah, but they're just also talented, and we love like being able to go to all these different shows, and that's what allows us to it. Because really, our show's only usually 6 to 7 people in total, but then we can sort of mix and match,
Plug and play,
Absolutely.
have plenty of people
Yeah.
to be able to pull into if case life gets in the way, that kind of shit.
Exactly. Yep.
But to Ron's point, let's go back a little bit and talk about when performing sort of became a part of your guys' lives. Was it something that was always a part of your lives? Did it happen older? You know, when was it like, yeah, performing is what I want to do?
Yeah. Well,
Did
my
you want to go
parents.
first this time?
Justin's not even asking permission. Take it away, Justin.
I would like to leave now, please. Well, my parents were both theater people. They had a community theater growing up, so I was in Peter Pan when I was 4. And then I sat on stage and was like, I'm going to do this professionally forever. No,
As a 4-year-old. Just 4-year-old,
I'm going to do this now. Well, my mom told me that I was Toodles. If you know Peter Pan, he's like one of the main, and I dressed up as Toodles. I had the whole costume. And later on in life, like years later, I looked back, we like watched the video and I was like, oh, I was not Toodles at all. I had no lines. I was mostly turned around to the back just watching the show. And I was like, Mom, did you lie to me? She goes, yes,
She's like,
I
you
did lie to
thought you were Daniel
Yeah,
Day-Lewis, dude. You were
I had
so
such
method.
high- yeah.
You're like, I'm the star, dude. I'm the freaking supporting role, dude. I'm the supporting lead of this show, dude.
Just an extra in the background, thinking you're a main character.
Justin coming out that main character energy.
No,
dude.
I probably did like walk around like 4-year-old. I'm just the shit walking around with my glasses and my
Like the
fake-
audience is eating this up. They don't give a shit.
I love that.
That's cute as hell, though.
We should supply you a picture of that because I bet you have one.
Oh, I definitely do.
Oh
have
yeah,
one.
dude. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's going to be a picture of that right here.
I'm adorable. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I ever stopped. I just sort of kept going, and after that, I was like, okay. And my parents were so supportive out the gate. It's like the opposite of every movie ever. They were like, in fact, I think if I stopped, my mom would be disappointed. She'd be like, but
You were like in junior high, be like, Mom, I think I want to go be like a mathematician. She's like, oh God, really? There's no money in that. She's like, you're really going to throw your life away in math? The opposite of every Genesis story ever.
That's hilarious.
But how about you, Sarah? When did you get into
Sarah, would you like
performing?
to go second?
Is that okay?
Yep, I love you.
For me, honestly, like I was a goofy kid at home, but super shy in public, painfully shy in public. And it was in high school, my junior year, I was a stepsister, and having an auditorium full of like people laugh at me for the first time was like, oh, I
You were
like
just
that.
a stepsister? Just a random stepsister?
No, I was Joy.
Oh, wait. I don't
She's-
think you said what production you were in.
Oh, Cinderella.
There it is.
I'm
I assumed
sorry.
you meant that.
I'm
But I was
sorry,
just like,
yeah.
you were just like, I was a stepsister
I'll
on
set
stage.
it
I was
up
like,
here.
that's dope. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Some
Thing
people-
isn't picking up my brain. Yeah, so it was a blast. It did silly physical. It was, physical comedy. A lot of that in that role because she was just, Joy was the opposite of joyful. And it was a blast. My friend and I were both the stepsisters and we played off of each other. And then from there, I was like, yep, need to do this. Yeah.
You found your calling through high school performing. So a little bit later than I think a lot of people get into performing or find their passion for it.
And then comedy was even later. Like I did my junior year of college, I did a independent study with a psychology professor on the psychology of humor and laughter. And my project for that was to do a 40-minute solo stand-up sketch type show. And then I was hooked again. Yeah.
Hey, heck yeah, bringing it back. So moving on a little bit, like what was kind of like the post-high school experience for you guys transitioning into adulthood adults wanting to be performers and trying to work on that kind of balance of like, obviously financial stability while also trying to propel your like performing career. Like what was that transition like and what sort of hurdles did you guys learn or have kind of throughout that time?
I love this battle we had to go first.
Classic.
It's your
classic
turn.
It's my
performers.
turn to go first.
Yeah.
I actually, weirdly enough, I came to Chicago right after college and I wanted to come here. I wanted to come to Second City, do the conservatory, do that whole program. But I do have to say, out the gate, I was like living in a basement, like at my aunt's basement. Shout out my aunt.
Yeah. Tagging Justin's aunt.
Picture of
Make
her
sure.
here.
She's the best. But I was living in this basement and rough. Anyone who's ever lived in a basement, there is something really just, even though it was super nice, it was well lit, it was great, still sad. There's something sad about it. And it was a big rut in the moment when I first moved here, trying to figure out that balance of, because I knew I wanted to only do things that were connected to things I love to do. So I started teaching dance with a company that let me dance in their company at the same time. I started doing shows with kids and things that would actually pay. And so I wanted to try to make sure even my day job had something to do with performing, at least a little bit.
Performance box
exactly.
for you.
And really attempting to always do that. And that is hard to find and tricky to keep going.
But you've done that really well.
I have done a pretty solid job of it. And I think
Tax season sucks.
tax season does suck.
All those 1099s, I'm sure
gosh.
you had to file.
And not to mention, I was in a show that went international constantly. So I was always in Australia, or I was in these other places. And so I had to be like, so what do I do? What do I do with my Australia money? And they were just it was just an interesting vibe to go back and forth on.
Honestly, that sounds like my worst nightmare. I could barely handle my money here in the U.S., let alone foreign currency or any sort of money accrued in any other country.
Yeah.
I literally want to punch myself in the face thinking about it.
Yeah. It's almost April.
It's almost
Get to it.
So close. But how about you, Sarah? That transition from high school. I mean, you kind of just started falling in love with performing in high school. So how did that transition look like into adulthood?
Well, I had never heard of the Second City, and I didn't grow up watching SNL. I grew up watching a lot of Disney movies.
Disney kid.
Yep, Disney kid. But my senior year, my art teacher was like, you should check out the Second City. And I was like, what is that? And so I ended up coming up here and doing a week-long workshop or class, and then came back. I was like, oh, actually, I think I want to move there. So I moved here. I considered Second City my grad school. I did 3 of their programs. Very quickly realized I'm like, well, political satire is not my style that I like to perform. I love to consume it, but it's not my favorite, not my vibe. And ended up doing a physical comedy piece in one of our programs, and that's actually what spawned this group. I was like, I want to do more of that. So physical, dance, all of that. So we started in 2015. So that was just a few years after I had moved here. And it took off pretty quickly, and we're still going. I
mean, we went from just falling in love with it to starting a comedy dance group. That has to be kind of like insane mental journey to go on, to be like, I have 0 experience. I fell in love with it. Now I'm starting a group. Let's go.
I have this annoying thing about myself that I like entrepreneurship, and it's annoying sometimes. But I did start a comedy show before I moved here in my hometown. There wasn't one, so we were doing improv, and I would book I'd book stand-up comedians, and then we had an improv group that would perform after. So I would host and do stand-up.
So you had
for
a little
that.
bit of like a back-end experience of collecting talent and coordinating talent a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit, though. That's
And
dope
Justin will
as-
tell you I like a spreadsheet. So organizing the people, I love to do that too.
Dude,
So,
And I'm also great at it. I'm very good and I'm very helpful.
you've gotten better.
I've gotten better. I know how to move
I'm-
cells down.
I'm
I know how to
proud.
move
Dude,
them
I
back
know how to
up.
copy and paste a cell, dude. I can change the font of some cells.
I wish. I have so many problems with working with Excel. I wish I had more like knowledge on it.
Yeah, you're also a manager, so you work with you work with Excel spreadsheets all the time.
And I'm like, the other day, like I had a hard time connecting column A and B. I didn't know, I was struggling with it. And I was like, I don't even know how to do this. It was embarrassing. The
Into
amount
one
of time
column?
it took me, Yeah.
So if you do that, I'm just
Sarah's gonna give you a in this segment we call "What Can We Teach Ron About Excel?"
here's the formula. Insert.
Having a podcast about Excel sheets is a nightmare. I had once, I believe.
serious?
No, but it will be now.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
I got excited.
I'm going to listen to that because I'm going to,
do it. Google's a magnificent tool, Ron. But let's get into the genesis of Comedy Dance Chicago. So, Sarah, I get the impression that like this was sort of your mind child to kind of, or brainchild to kind of start us off. But like, how did that idea come to be? And then when did Justin and when did the rest of the crew kind of get involved with that?
Yeah, so it was 2013, 2014 here at Second City. And one of our programs, like I was saying, this piece we did was a T-Rex parody of Dirty Dancing. So this guy and I pulled our arms in our shirt sleeves and we did the whole like thing. We did the lift and it killed every night. And I was like, okay, I want to do physical comedy. And I want a duo. And so I had tried with like 3 or 4 people to start a duo, and it just they weren't that interested. I was like, no, let's go. And then
You're like, I have the spreadsheet. Let's do it. All the dates,
The formulas.
the formulas.
and then ended up with that same group that performed that dinosaur piece. A few of us were like, well, let's see what happens. And we started just going to a studio and just dancing together. And then one friend was at a bar one night and he was like, so I heard you're doing this thing. I want to be a part of it. So then he joined, and then we ended up creating one piece that we worked on for months and months and months. And it was Tiny Dancer. We made these little hand puppets. And again, spent months on that one piece, and Tiny Dancer in my hand, and then we all had it, and we'd throw her around, and like it was this whole little tiny puppet show that happened. So we performed that at another dance concert, at a Matter Dance concert, and then decided, well, let's put a full show together for Chicago Sketch Fest. So we spent the next like 4 months putting a full 40-minute show together for the festival. And then after that, it was like, okay, let's go.
We got something special here. Let's keep riding the wave.
Yeah, so then Justin joined just a year and a half in or so. Yeah, early on.
So pretty early on in
I
the
saw
history.
this one at a solo show. We were doing a solo show, and she went first, and I went next. And I was like, I don't want to follow that at all. I don't want to do that.
You're like, audience, I don't want to.
And and then she told me about it right afterwards. And I said I was going to sneak my way onto that group, and I did.
He did.
Yeah,
snuck
he just
it
started
in.
showing up.
He did. He was
I
like,
really
oh,
did.
let me record this for you. Great. He recorded our show. Oh, you guys want to make a video? He recorded a video. And then all of a sudden, I was like, one show I look over and he's on stage with me, and I was like, how did you get here?
I just robot it
silently
on.
inserting himself in the background of every sketch. Classic Toodles, man. Classic
Classic
Toodles. Classic Toodles, man. That's hilarious, though.
I mean, technically, though, you and I auditioned at the same audition.
You're right. So
And you made it, and I didn't.
dude.
Well, I got in the, what is it called?
Contributor.
The
I think is what we call it at the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for the people listening, I'm very familiar with Comedy Dance Chicago. I did a very brief stint as a contributor for the group. Very short-lived. I was in my early 20s, and time management and life expectations I had zero idea about at that time. So did not contribute much, or I think kind of at all throughout.
I don't think I met you.
Probably not.
During
I think
the time you were there.
I missed a lot of stuff. I remember that. But that's
It's okay.
honestly,
We still like you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I've earned forgiveness over time.
Forgiveness.
But That's hilarious. I didn't realize that I made it. You didn't.
There's
Just
an
that
image
good,
of
guys.
us together in the same picture.
I think you
that
were
I
just
still
both
have.
contributors.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
true.
I think so. That's probably more likely. Hell yeah. So like again, so it's a pretty small pool. You, Justin being added on, perhaps maybe I think a group of contributors at that time. Like, what type of opportunities were you guys getting at that time? And did it kind of just like spark where it was just like the wave was just sort of the venues were getting bigger and bigger? Was it a grind? Like what was the grind like?
So we did the Chicago Sketch Fest was our first show. And before we left the dressing room, they offered us a run of shows that spring. So we did that. And then just we're like, oh, let's do a Halloween themed one. And we did that. That's when we had auditioned to bring you guys on. My friend was like, I think you guys should perform at my kid's school. So we did that. And then we started getting those gigs. And it just kind of snowballed. And we were doing our own run of shows there for a while. I took us down to my hometown in North Carolina and produced a show down there so my family could see it.
Because we did the New Year's show at I.O. for many years.
Yeah.
And that was a big one, just in a sense of, I think it was a little bit bigger audiences, more people saw it. And also they really wanted us to be interactive. They were like, hey, as much as you can you find fun ways to be interactive? And I think that really sculpted the group in general, not just doing the generic, like, okay, let's make fun of the audience or bring them up to make them, it's like, how do we really interesting, like celebrate the audience and dance with them and be a part of it? And I think that was a big part of the growth process as well.
Totally.
And I mean, I feel like that's a huge kind of difference, at least like I'm not really super in tune with what the comedy scene looks like or what's popular in comedy right now, but you do see a lot of that as far as like the role the audience plays in a lot of comedy right now seems to be very much just like insulting crowd work, which is funny as much. I enjoyed as much as the next guy. But how do you guys feel like the way you interact with your audience is different? And if so, how so?
I mean, one thing you learn in improv is to protect your audience members.
Sure.
So we're serious about doing that. Like we always tell people, if you don't want to come up, we're not going to force you to come up.
Yeah, we're not going to twist your arm.
Because I've had people come and be like, please don't pick me. And I'm like, if someone tries to, just say no and they will move on. So yeah.
One of my favorite things, whenever I was talking to my hairdresser at Sports Clips, shout out.
Sports Clips. Not sponsored, but could be.
Yeah, it could be. But I was talking about this exact idea. And because she was talking about, she's like, I hate going to stand-up shows. I feel like they're going to make fun of me. I sit all the way in the back so they don't. And because I was saying that my show is very interactive. And she's like, I can't come see your show. It'll make me so nervous. And I was like, I want it to be, when they leave the stage, they get applause. They feel like they've done something cool. And she goes, oh, like a magic show. And I was like, not, well. And she's like, yeah, like you do the trick with the magician and you feel like you're part of the trick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that actually.
Yeah.
That is 100% what we want to be, is I want you to leave as a background dancer or a backup dancer in the group where you feel like, oh, remember when I got to do that thing?
Like, yeah,
that was fun.
I didn't come up on stage to dance like an idiot. Like I was part of the experience in a
Yeah.
positive way. And
We're there to celebrate. We're there together.
that's cool. And like, do you like how successful do you think that is, or how you like as far as the audiences you guys had? Is it generally well received? Is it sometimes pulling teeth, being like, okay, like how do we do this with this group?
There's some corporate events that sometimes they're like, no, thank you. But it's really easy adults, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really easy to move on because there's always someone there that's like, no, I'm going to do this. And they're like so excited to be a part of it. And so you can find them pretty easily. And the things we do, I think, they're already in a show where it's really high energy, fun dancing. Yeah. That we try to just be like, it's going to be the same.
They feed off that energy a little bit.
And in our kid shows, it's like every hand goes up and it's like impossible.
We have a video of Sarah being mauled by hundreds of children.
You're a celebrity to these kids.
Elementary school mosh pit. It was a mosh pit. There's a piece where I need hugs from my castmates and then I need a few more from the audience. And the kids always, anytime it's the kid audience, they all raise their hand. And there were 30 that they were in a gym seated on the floor. So they were easily able to get up and run. Yeah. And they did. They surrounded me and almost knocked me down.
Oh, that is honestly the most adorable thing ever.
She disappeared. I like, oh no.
You're like, we actually might need to.
They were really tall.
Sarah's like, open up the pit. Like it's a metal concert. That's so lit, dude. I love
the
that.
next piece. That's the next.
Do you guys have a preference of whether you guys like performing for adults or kids more? I mean, obviously they're very different, and like I don't know if the style of comedy changes when you perform for each one, but curious if you guys have a personal preference.
I think, especially if you ask the group, there are definitely some preferences within the group of being like, kids, I don't know what to do, but they're really good, and they come with the energy. It's not a big problem. They're just a little uncomfortable with it. But I mean, I've been that show I was talking about before when I went to Australia. That was, I think. We did the math or something, and I think I performed for like 4 million kids over the span of like 8 years or something like that.
Crap.
And so that was like my life for because I would go to like 3 or 4 schools every day and just over and over again. And so I understand it really well, but there is also a part of me that when adults are here and they think something's really funny, I'm like, that's good. That's a good feeling, because I feel like kids are, I think it's almost not too easy, but kind of like once you get the stuff ready, you're like, and they're just like, oh
snap.
Yeah, exactly.
And adults are like, make me laugh, impress me.
The expectation.
When it comes to improv, like, is that just 100% improvised, or is there some type of prep work that goes into it?
Well, our show is completely sketch. There's some improvisation in general, or like some of the the hosting possibly, but sketch comedy is all written out. So all of our dances are pre-choreographed. Everything is pre-done before it, and a lot of Second City stuff is sketch comedy in general. Yeah.
So there's pockets of improvisation.
Yeah,
It's like mostly very.
It's like when you watch SNL, they're all reading the cue cards. They're not making up anything. They're all doing it as they go along. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, Ron is completely new to the performance.
What?
Yeah.
So do you watch SNL?
I
Or
do.
have you?
You've probably seen like clips. That's
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
have, yeah.
That's all. They have like little written out cue cards on the other side of the screen that they are reading as they go along. So if
Okay.
you notice, they all kind of look this
They'll
way.
cheat out and they'll like look like
okay.
they're reading. And every so often you'll have a host that almost like is glued to it and is just like
So it's
reading
kind of
right
like
off the
what
cue
our
card.
show is like. It's very similar to SNL in that it's all planned out, but it's all physical, dance, lots of music. Yeah.
Because like the first improv comedy show I actually was here. I was last year, like for like a work thing. We all came here, and I thought it was really cool. Like the improv comedy or improvised comedy it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a unique beast. Though.
Yeah,
is a
it's a lot
skill.
different.
I feel like you have to have a very fast brain to do improv.
Yeah,
And my brain is
'cause
way too
we
slow
did
for
like a
that
little
shit.
workshop thing after we like watched it all. We all got together, did this workshop thing, and we had to like improvise like how we were interacting with each other. And I was like, yeah, this is tough.
Well, I
But
think
we're doing it right now.
we are.
I mean,
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
This whole podcast
Yeah.
is improvised.
And not to mention, there's so much technique that I feel like people are like, I can't think that way. I can't be funny like that. It's really, once you start doing it, you're like, oh, there are definite rules. There are definite things you can follow. And then once you get those in your bones, it becomes much easier to be like, okay, no matter what happens, I'll just say yes to my partner. I will just talk. I will make a choice. I will do the, and there's all
So
these.
there's like a foundation to it.
Oh,
then.
100%.
Yeah.
I think people really think of improv as this a possibility because they're like, I don't do this every day. I'm not hilarious all the time, so I can't ever do it. It's like, yeah, of course. You can't do a lot of things you've never done before. Yeah.
Until you do it.
Until you do it.
Yeah. It's the first time for everything.
You know what? I heard something the other day that like was one of those life nuggets that I'm going to keep with me forever. It's like instead of saying I can't do this or I'm not good at it, it's you're unfamiliar with it, and then give yourself time to get familiar.
Yeah, there's a time to get familiar with anything you're unfamiliar with versus can't do something feeling so absolute, so
Just shutting
definitive you
yourself out
cannot
with
do
it.
something. It's like, no, you
and I
can't.
think that makes it harder to even learn when you want to. When you're like, I can't do this or I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's unfamiliar. I feel like I saw that as well.
So real quick, I'm going to pull up my phone real quick because I want to read the mission on your guys' website real quick.
Ooh, what did we say? What did we say?
Yeah, because I kind of want to ask. I wanted to ask some questions about it, and I apologize. I'm probably going to cut some of this out while I pull up the website. Because I think last time I had it pulled up already.
That's so interesting that you had never. I just always take these things for granted that you're like, oh, it's sketch comedy, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck that is, bro. Like, I don't know what
You're
you're
like
talking
sketch
about.
improv musical. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is when I say, okay, what we do is like sketch comedy, people would be like, oh, like improv? And I'm like, no, so like stand up. No, it's not stand up. Like it's.
You are
Yeah.
literally just reading off different subsets of comedy, except the one we do.
Yeah.
Because we also have a good amount of clown, and every time I mention that, people always have a very
It's not red nose.
Yeah, not
it's,
red nose. Like they have a very clear picture in their head what we do. And I'm like, no, actually I have a boombox with plungers on the back and I go read people's minds. And they're like,
What?
well, that's not so you not pull things out of your sleeve or nothing. And they have a very specific idea of what clowning is as well.
But so your mission, as it says on your website, it says our mission is to bring laughter, connection, and to delight. Our mission is to bring laughter, connection, and delight to audiences of all ages through high-energy comedy and dance performances. We aim to spark joy, lift spirits, and leave every audience walking away lighter than they arrived. So that's the mission on your website. How did that mission come to be, and how do you feel like you guys coordinate, and like what's your creative process look like in order to kind of lend itself to that mission?
Well, I will say, very early on, I was like, there's no political satire, no political commentary. Let's just let this be an escape. And so that's what I wanted it to be from the beginning. And I think we've definitely kept that, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, that was so joyful. My face hurts from smiling. Both of those things are regular comments we hear from our audience members after a show. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want everybody to feel. And I mean, I hear that all the time. I don't know about you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's so many shows in Chicago you can go see with great satire and political, socioeconomic, all these amazing things that are awesome. But I think we just are I think dance and comedy can allude to so much instant joy and just people being like, I don't know what that was, but I had so much fun the whole time. And I think that is just a feeling that we don't get to have very often as humans. And so I think if we can leave anyone leaving the room and being like, I felt like crap before and now I feel way better, that's
a win.
That's the win.
Yeah. I used to be the on-field entertainment host for a minor league ballpark in North Carolina. And that was their goal. They were like, no matter win or lose for the game, we want everybody leaving having had fun, and it doesn't matter whether they won or not. And like we had to like go to the gate at the end of the game and high five everybody and give them one last smile. And they were actually trained by somebody from Disney, so it was a similar like, let's just bring joy to the world.
Yeah.
And so I know that's why I wanted that to be part of this too, just because I've been trained to do that before. I think it's really important. It's a nice thing to do for people.
If you come to this show specifically, that is our aim. From you walk through the big doors to the small doors, every part we're going to have something where you can interact if you want to. You can have fun. You can go take pictures and dance. You can come inside and dance. You can do
the escapism,
something that is just fun from the beginning to end.
You're going to be warped into a little bit of a different world for a while.
But you also don't have to dance. So
at all.
Like people have said, I don't like dance, but I loved that. Like don't let the dance side. I know some people that aren't dancers are like, what do you mean dance?
Am I going to enjoy this? Like how much dance knowledge do I need to come in with?
If you enjoy listening to music and watching people have fun, then yeah.
It's for you.
Do you guys always like have that personality turned on, or is it like a switch you flip when you like get in on stage?
What personality?
Like just you're right.
I'm just being sad.
Like the comedy personality.
I think there's an element of probably both where no one gets into this without needing attention from other people in some capacity or another. But yeah, it's very true. So I think there's something, and I think it's great in sketch, specifically our group, that there's a lot of moments that are just like us on stage, like talking, like before the show, we're just us having fun, and then we play these characters. And so you can kind of switch on and off just your regular fun self versus, okay, we're dinosaurs with tiny arms. And so I think that's kind of where you see those switch off and on. Yeah.
So about the creative process, like when you're coming up with sketches, and because you guys like operate in such a niche area of comedy with being comedy dance, because I think a lot of people associate comedy with being very wordy and being very like wordplay, stand up, things like that. But you guys eliminate a lot of that element from what you guys do, and you guys strictly focus on the movement part.
Yeah.
What does that creative process look like for you guys when you guys come up with sketches, or when you guys get the minds together to be like, okay, cool, we need some new stuff? what can we do that we haven't already done before? Like, how do you keep that fresh, and what's the creative process look like?
We have both organized ways of doing it and organized. So I'm going to start with the unorganized.
Sick.
The unorganized, we send voice memos back and forth to each other all the time. Okay. And it starts off with us just laughing at ourselves. That's a big thing too. As long as we make ourselves laugh in the creation process, we have several pieces. All of them make us laugh, but there are several that in the studio just make us giggle every time we do them. And we've been doing some of these for years. So as long as we bring ourselves joy doing it, then it's going to work for the audience. And then the more organized side, you want to talk about our process?
Yeah, we often do we've evolved this process over time, but right now we're sort of doing a 3 to 4 month process of where we get together and everyone pitches, which says, okay, here's my idea. And then we take I think the first year we had like 135 ideas. And then we pull them down to 75 and then 50, and then we get them on our feet.
Start trimming away a little bit.
To see what really works. And then we do a full show at I.O. And so then we're just brand spanking new stuff, 1 hour, let's see what works. And so then it's a scary process always, just because it is hard. It is a weird, no one was really trained to do comedic dancing too much.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, let's try something new and see if people like it.
And it's so hard to say, here's how to do this.
Yeah.
It's it's really hard.
I think that's like a very unique combination, like comedy and dancing. How did you blend those two together?
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I have, always loved music theater when I was a kid, and I was always like the comedic element, and I really loved dance. And so I joined a dance company, and I was like, can I do this? And they're like, okay, Justin, you can do that. And so they let me do all these really silly dances and really funny dances. And I really loved, like, within these dance shows, having my pocket of, here's the weird, funny one. Here's the one where we do a food fight, but we have pizza boxes and big Slim Jims, and we do a food fight that way instead of traditional. And I just always thought that was so funny to do. And so then when I met Sarah, she was like, the whole show's going to be that. And I was like, tell me more. Yeah, tell me more.
Say less. I'll sneak my way in.
And so I think I just always loved, I think dancing, you watch old musicals, old things, there's so much funny dancing in that we sort of have lost
Some of
over
that,
time.
like Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly,
Absolutely.
slapstick dance.
And there's so much storytelling. Dance is,
Yeah.
Dance is storytelling. So if you can tell a funny story in any way, you can tell it in a dance way, presumably.
Modern day vaudeville was actually one of our audience reactions one time. I loved that one.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Also, so dumb, it's smart again.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I operate. Do you guys have any dialogue in any of your sketches, or is it all?
Yeah, we
Okay,
do.
so you guys incorporate some dialogue probably when it's necessary, but
Sure.
it's primarily focused around the physical.
We have a
comedy.
few that are just dialogue.
Oh,
so,
really?
Comedy first. So every piece will be comedic in some way. Vast majority have dancing or movement.
Got it.
Do the the responses and energy from the audience affect the show, or affect how you guys
Oh, very much so.
Perform?
I think dance and comedy, that's a base level. Like if you have people hooting and hollering at your dance show, you're doing a good job. Comedy, you got big laughs. And so since we have both of those things, we can really tell, even though we have had some audiences that I'm like, oh, they hated this. They just sort of, and then after the show, they're like, this is the best day of my life. And I was like, really? You didn't react at all. And they had so much fun, and they're just quieter individuals.
It is funny how that works.
Yeah. But when an audience, like we're about to go to Toronto for a Toronto Sketch Fest, and that audience is there for it. And from the get go, it's just so much fun. It just brings so much energy. And
It's a lot of other sketch comedians in the room. So we now know them. We've gone, this will be our third time. So we've got a room full of supportive people.
and they don't only scream for they scream for all the dancing, they just are very there. And it's just so much fun to do.
I will say, like, with my brief stint being a performer in Chicago, I did find that both the comedy and circus community are probably some of the most supportive communities of performers that I've ever worked with. No shade on the musical theater community, no shade. But like comedians just support each other in a way that I feel like I hadn't experienced in the performing world at that time. So to get to work with you guys and like work with other comedians, I was just like, oh crap, you guys like validate each other really well. I'm like, holy crap. Circus performers are the same way. They're just like super friendly. They're just like, hey, you want to learn shit? I'm like, cool. Yeah. They're like,
Yes, I
sweet.
do.
Let's hop in the gym and let's do some weird stuff. I'm like, sick.
And I think there's a group dynamic to that, right? Musical theater often, yes, you do the shows and these things, but they're always on the grind to get the next part, to do the next things. And I think improvisers, especially farther along you go, can get that as a little bit, but the best ones are the ones that are like, I want everyone to do great. And that's what makes like them great, is they want to support everybody. And I think that hopefully you always get that, because I know some people who have the opposite of what you just said. I'm like, oh, that's no fun.
Like, that sucks.
I love that you had a good experience.
And obviously I'm overgeneralizing. There's always going to be outliers and exceptions to the rule. But I would say, like, at least again, from my experience, I was like, oh, like, you guys generally understand that we're out here to support each other. And like, I think the thing that I found most interesting about the circus world versus the comedy versus musical theater is, like, kind of to your point, it's like when you go to a musical theater audition, you're there in front of someone and you're going to sing or do a monologue, whatever. And it's like, you're outside of the room you're in, there's 30 other people that it's like, oh God, we're all fighting for the same thing.
Yeah, they all look like me.
We all look the same. We're all wearing the same maroon button down that we all got at Kohl's for cheap.
Shout out your mom.
Shout out my mom, dude. Thanks, Mom. Still have that shirt, by the way. But what I found interesting about comedy and circus is, like, you're not there to be a conduit for someone else's art exclusively. You're there to, like, hey, I have an act or I have a routine that I'm trying to sell. And you either like it or you don't. And it's going to be vastly different from the next person's or whoever comes in next after you. So it's like, there's still a competitive element to it, because again, you're trying to book work, but your comedy versus someone else's, or someone else's circus skills or act is going to be different from someone else's. So I feel like there's that wall of separation of, like, I'm competing with you for this spot, but we're also doing vastly different things. So it's like, we can't really compare each other to one another.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And I'm sure that opens it up to a little bit more of a, cool, we want you to do good. Yeah, like, we don't want your act to suck.
And I think that's a great, all of our group wants us to do a good job. Everyone is really there to, like, and I mean, we've all been most of us have been together 8-9 years at this point.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, is, like, because we're together, we perform better together.
Yeah. And obviously there's going to be moments of butting heads over ideas and things of that nature. Never. But it's because we want it to be great.
It's all sunshine and friendship all the time.
Always good.
But also, back going to support others and see other shows. I get mad though when they are really good. I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that?
That was genius.
So that's how I know I really think something is good, is when I, like, am kind of mad about it.
You're like, I'm laughing about this, but I'm so mad I didn't come up with it first.
For real.
They're good.
Your face says, get off the stage, but your heart is like, oh, this was so good.
Exactly. I gotta be mindful of that.
Have you ever had anyone join your group where it was like the vibe was just not good and you had to be like, yo, this ain't working out, or like, hey, like, what you're envisioning for this group isn't what this group is. Sorry, hags.
I don't think it's ever a bad. I think closer to what you just said at the end. There have been people that have come in and like, oh, not exactly what I was looking for, and we're like, love it. Go do something awesome. And so we have had almost every audition. We've had a few people be like, I just don't have the time. I'm
they're involved
young.
in other things.
I was about to just list all the things you said earlier, but it does happen. But I don't genuinely think we've ever had someone where, like, intervention style needed
you
them
let's
to
all
leave.
sit down like this in a podcast and be like, hey, let's talk about why this isn't working. That's honestly pretty fortunate. Seems like that's pretty honestly. Sounds like you've, because of that, you've seemed to welcome some very great like-minded individuals into your group to kind of, and everyone seems to have generally understood the message and understood where they fit in, if they don't.
I do feel like we're pretty clear with that at the beginning. Like, we're about being joyful and positive and So every time we have auditions, though, I'm like, oh, don't ruin our wonderful group we have.
We have so much great synergy here. Don't ruin it.
Be cool.
Outsider.
Be cool.
What's the audition process look like, speaking of?
It's rigorous.
Days. It is sort of in a general, I mean, honestly.
It's like a workshop.
A workshop style. And it's really difficult. It's sort of what you said earlier. It's such a weird combination of things that we find some really hilarious people. And then the farther along we get, the more the dancing gets more involved and things. And so we're like, we need someone perfectly balanced in comedy and dance that doesn't particularly look like anyone else in the group. It doesn't, so they can bring a new fresh thing to it. It's a really difficult thing to balance that. But we do a dance usually. We've had them pitch ideas to us before.
We'll do like just some improv warm-ups and games just to like get people, awake and playing with each other.
Are you saying you want to audition right now? Is that what is
Ron?
Dude, Ron's been taking some dance.
Ron.
He's been taking some dance, baby. We've talked about this on the pod. Cutting a rug.
Wait, what dance are you taking?
I am rusty at that. I have not done that in a while.
He's been doing Muay Thai lately, but you did a brief stint with some dancing.
I did. I did salsa, bachata, rumba,
Little
waltz,
partner dancing.
Awesome.
ballroom stuff. Yeah,
Dude, so he's got some skills.
Next time we
Had
have
some skills.
auditions, we're
Hey,
gonna email you.
Ron's gonna be at the next auditions. We're gonna peer pressure him.
I've had this idea.
We're gonna post the video on the podcast of Ron auditioning for you guys. Do you guys feel like it's people with dance experience tend to do better, or is it kind of an eclectic mix of just like, hey, that person does not know how to dance at all, but they brought something that we can work with?
You know what's funny? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to say something else.
I'm going to answer your question with a completely different question.
But that reminds me of, it's like, there have been a few of us that have been like, wait, if we audition for the group now, would we get in? Because we have, initially we'd be like, okay, are you more of a comedian that can dance, or are you a dancer that is also funny? Like, what do you identify as? And we would kind of take levels, but the more we go, we're like, we really need everyone to be a dancer.
Yeah.
Because we always say it's not about, the joke isn't that we're bad at dancing, it's that we're good at it, and then there's some funny woven in there.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part about a lot of sketch shows you'll go to will have dance elements, but that's the tick up on the end of the joke is, and then we start dancing, ha ha ha. If we dance the whole time, we can't ever surprise you with dancing.
Yeah.
And so we have to be pretty good, or it
That's
doesn't work.
A really interesting point, like surprising them with dancing versus making it exclusively dancing the whole time. Because otherwise you would just be a dance company.
Yeah.
Because there are sketch shows that will surprise you with a dance at some point, right?
For sure.
So actually something we've started surprising with is, they sing too.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of fun. We just throw a song in every once in a while.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So for people who are like maybe interested in auditioning for you guys, like, is there a style of dance that you guys noticed that have essentially lent itself better in the audition room, whether it be ballet, jazz, tap, weird shit?
I think that weird shit is actually
that
really
weird
great.
shit, dude.
Well, I think bring your version of weird shit. Like,
Sick.
I think musical theater is always going to be maybe up top, just because we need
very
that energy.
yeah.
And there's a lot of acting elements that are already there. But I think when people come and they're like, hey, I can do this really well, like Irish jig dance, and we're just like, I don't know what to do with it, but I love that you're really good at it.
The fact that you can do it, we'll find something.
Super fun. And we can bring more things to the
Facial expressions.
Yeah.
We need facial expressions.
because if we just all have everyone in the same, doing the same dances the whole time, what fun is that? It's once we bring in other people to do stuff, it's so cool to watch.
So Justin is more into hip hop, so then we'll have pieces where he's teaching us all hip hop, and then we have some others that are more classically trained in ballet. Emily is super flexible. I am super not that. So it's a nice range, and it's fun to have all the different styles.
Cool. So it's often in the audition room, it's like, hey, you know what? You're bringing something completely new to the table, not necessarily being like, if you have musical theater dance, you'll probably do better. Or we're exclusively looking for one thing or the other.
And we're not the Rockettes, so we don't expect everything to be identical. Just give it that energy. And
there's sometimes just make a choice, make a big choice. And sometimes I remember a very specific Annie, at one point during her audition, that we were like, this time do the dance, but do whatever you want with it. And she went into the corner of the room and she just like did the dance like with this frantic energy, just by herself to the mirror.
Just in the corner.
To the mirror and not to us at all. And I didn't watch anyone else. I just went over there. I was like, what is she doing? And I just loved because it was like, it's someone thinking outside the box. And it was just really fun.
It's almost like, again, subverting the expectation of most of the time being, hey, look at me. And it's just like this person going off in the corner like, love what's happening over here, but what the hell is happening over here?
Because this over here had an immense amount of energy. Like everyone was trying to out-energy each other, but sometimes
less is more.
Go in the opposite way, yeah.
Honestly, I'm that guy who looks at those people whenever I go see live performances. I'm just like, who's awkwardly in the background doing something completely fucking weird, dude.
Actually, whenever we watch videos of our performances, I do like to zoom in on each person and watch because
love it.
everyone is so different. And like we have a Charlie Brown piece where we are like do a peanut character dance. And that's one thing where like in the rehearsal room, even during the show, I don't know what other people are doing. And when I go and watch, it's just so awesome and satisfying to see how different everybody is.
Honestly, my favorite thing to do is me and my wife, we do this every time we go to a concert. You know how they have those huge screens and they sometimes pan across the audience of like the reactions? I'm always looking for like, who has the weirdest face? I'm like, who doesn't realize they're being recorded right now? And it's like, I do that whenever I see any live performance. I'm just like looking at the background of just like, who thinks that no one is looking at them? Well, I'm in fact eyeballing the shit out of them.
I love it.
I want to see those choices. I want to see that guy.
When it comes to this style of comedy, is this something you think like someone's born with, or is it something you could train?
Because dance, honestly, dance,
like,
there is a level of like genetics involved, and like that's just the reality. Like, everyone can be a good dancer.
Naturally, like witty sarcasm, like just like quick like kickbacks. Like I feel like those type of personalities really match with this field. Like,
It's both. I think it's both. You could definitely be trained. It might be harder for some than others. I mean, I've been comedy dancing since I was a child. So to me, it was like, oh, I'm just going to do what I used to do for my family.
I think one of my favorite are like the idea of introvert versus extrovert. It's not that I feel like that everyone kind of has both in them, but it's what fuels you. Like, is being around a bunch of people fueling you? Maybe you're an extrovert. If being by yourself, that's what recharges your battery. I think there's just some people who everyone likes to get laughed. Like, you tell a joke and everyone laughs. It feels good. Everyone. But some people are like, I want that so bad. And it becomes sort of part of your personality as you go along. That I think that's probably a little bit learned and a little bit just a part of your genes going.
Were there any like comedic inspirations you guys had while kind of going through this process of becoming this comedic entity? Like any sort of artist, or even just like personally in your personal lives, like comedic inspirations that you guys have kind of looked to kind of emulate?
I grew up watching Nick at Night as well as Disney.
Oh,
so
Nick at Night did.
Dick Van Dyke, Lucille Ball, Mary Tyler Moore, all of those people, they had a lot of fun physicalities. And so that definitely got me going in this direction for sure.
Oh, cool. So a lot of that kind of old school slapstick.
Yes.
I was honestly, I love Lucy Home growing up. Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, my people.
I love that. Honestly, my mom is probably one of my bigger inspiration, especially growing up. She always did these shows for like the high school and all these people where she would play this character called Trixie. It was sort of like a Franz Drescher style. She would wear all cheetah print and she would go out in the audience and like flirt with men in like in weird ways. And she would do these dances with them as well on stage. It was very interactive. And I remember people being like, Justin, isn't this so embarrassing? And I was like, no,
like, no, my mom's
the
a rock
coolest
star,
thing. Yeah, like it was so funny and it was so weird. And it taught me a lot about like who to pick out in an audience and who to like have fun with, what is funny, what is not, what works, what doesn't. And I think that those moments, I did it from like, I remember watching when I was a kid all the way through high school, she did it. And I never ever was like, oh, this is embarrassing. I was like, oh, that was a good bit. That was a good one. I really, that killed.
Sick, Mom. That killed tonight, Mom.
And then I joined her, I remember in high school, like as her son.
What was your name?
Oh gosh, I
feel like
genuinely
this
don't remember.
character needs to come into our show at some point.
Yeah, I was like, what was? I remember she was really disappointed in me. I remember the bit was that she's like, so like, she would always like shimmy to everybody. Like anytime she'd move, she'd shimmy like this. And I like couldn't do it. And I'd be like, and I would come over to the people and I'd be like, hello, how is your, tell me your name. And I would like, and I couldn't ever do it. And she would be really disappointed in me. And that was like the whole bit.
No, that's hilarious though. Your mom was like, if I'm going to raise a performer's son, I got to put myself out there. I'm not raising no nerds in this house. You're not going to know science. You're not going to know how to read, but you'll know how to dance, kid.
Yeah. No, it's very true. But I think I Love Lucy for sure. Franz Drescher. I remember we watched The Nanny every night, and I was like, this is true comedy. This is what I want to be.
We've peaked. This is amazing.
Have you guys, like with both of you, do you remember your most embarrassing show? And then one of your most like, okay, this is my most proud show that I've done?
I love this question.
Wait, for this group or just in general?
Just in general, like with you and then...
Sarah's like, how to isolate just one?
I know exactly the story. Do I? Yeah, I do want to tell the story.
Oh, please tell it.
So I was doing this show. It was Aladdin. It was like an offset. I was playing Aladdin, not cool anymore for sure. But I was playing Aladdin, and it was for kids, like the whole show. And we were doing it for high school. And so we would travel around the Midwest, and I would do the show with these other two people. And one time I was like, I love this. I want this for myself. And I'm like, Aladdin, I'm doing this monologue. And I was like, but what do I want? What do I really want? And this kid is sitting right in front of me, eye level, and he goes, tits. You want tits? And I was like, and I just completely spaced. I had done this monologue 1,000 times at this point, and the kids around him were like, pointing out this kid.
What a douche, but I love that.
No,
Dude. That's
it was
hilarious.
the most.
Wait, that's
Honestly, that's real life, baby. That's
And I
real
was
life.
looking right into his eye because they were all in bleachers going up. So he
Straight
was
face.
like right in me, just like, and he just was doing the thing, and he killed amongst his friends so hard.
He was the most popular kid in school for
my
at least
God.
a week, dude.
Yeah.
They were
It
like,
was-
dude, that was sick.
It was, yeah, I'd say that. Even though I don't know if I have an embarrassing story. That wasn't embarrassing to me. I think about that every
It just
night before
broke
I go to
you.
bed. Yeah. It made me very happy.
Okay, same. I don't really have an embarrassing story, but I do have a breaking story. And we were doing a show, and I had my monologue about hugs, and I step up onto the stage, and one of my friend Michael is doing this slow motion dance. And he's like making this face. And we were in the elbow room. I don't know if you've ever been to the elbow room
No.
previously. It's no longer. But we had to step up onto the stage. It was for bands, and we were doing our show there. It was carpeted. There was a pole in the middle. Anyway, I stepped up on the stage, and I was once again, we shouldn't be eye level with people. That's what it was. So I like step up, and he's so close to me, like making this weird face, and it tickled me. And so I turned to the audience to start my monologue, and I was like, psychotherapist Virginia Satir once said, and then I lost it. And I just started laughing, and I was cry laughing, and I could not like just speak this monologue, and I kept laughing, and everyone else was like,
Like, what the
And we're all in slow motion on stage, and you say none of the monologue. I don't believe you get any of it out. And so then we have to move on with the dance with the audience being like,
What's
is this?
happening?
What
I
is
was
this?
just like cry laughing.
Is this part of it or what? I mean, I feel like in comedy you have to have, and this is kind of a personal mantra, but I feel like you guys probably have something similar where it's like there's no such thing as a bad experience as long as you have a good story.
Yes.
You know?
I would say embarrassing is anytime a show just really falls flat. Like, and I can't even tell you one of those stories because I'd attempt to just be like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
That's the only time where I'm like, that didn't go so well. Moving on.
Well, actually, back to being in that rut a few years ago, we were doing a brand new show, and I mentally, I was just like, this is dumb. I feel stupid. And so every time I was on stage, I felt embarrassed, actually. So, and that's fortunately changed. Probably happen again at some point. But
Sure. It'll ebb and flow.
yeah. But yeah, that's never fun. But kept going.
Yeah. And we have had some like reviews that you're just like, oh, you did not get what we were doing. And like,
Yeah, they sent a dancer, a dance reviewer to review our show. And like,
and they were like,
That's
this
weird.
is just not,
They're
there's
like,
nothing to this.
The
Like,
lines weren't right.
Yeah, they were
The
like-
points
Better
weren't quite
enjoy
as
drunk.
pointed.
yeah, better drunk, I think is what they said.
yeah, better enjoy drunk.
And like,
I mean,
it doesn't
ideally.
feel good, but at the same time, that's not the point of anything we're doing. Like, we know what the audience is doing, we know what the show's doing, and so, but it wasn't.
The audience was laughing. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I feel like that reviewer strangely got it while at the same time not getting it. They're like, this is better drunk. It'd be more funny. And it's like, okay, so you kind of got it. It's just,
So if you were drunk because you need that joy in your life,
yeah. It's like maybe you did kind of get it. You just didn't at the same time. So let's kind of gear into your show here at Second City. Like what was that process like, and how did this project come to be with working with Second City and having a show here?
Well, we wanted to perform more, and I just reached out to Liz Howard here and was like, hey, we've got this show. We'd love to do a family-friendly show there. And she was interested. We kept talking, and so
have you ever done like a full length show at Second City before? Because you guys mentioned you guys have done the programs, so obviously you had a relationship with Second City and obviously knew people. But like this is like your guys' show, right? It's like you're not sharing the stage with another group necessarily. It's like this is your entity.
First time we did our anniversary show here back in October, but that was just a one-off.
Yeah, and you can also like rent any of the spaces. Like if we all four of us, we want to get you up on that stage, we could go rent one of the spaces upstairs and things of that nature. And this show, I mean, I think it starts like you said it earlier, we started doing shows for kids. We were like, we did one, and then we realized that we didn't have to change our show very much. Like we had to do little tweaks here and there, but overall,
censored music or not.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question: is the differentiation. But
it's so physical, it's so this that we were just like, okay, let's start selling this family style show, not a kids show, but like Pixar style. Everyone has something they'll laugh at. Cool. And so then we already had it like in the chamber, which was really helpful for this moment right here. It's like, okay, we know it works, we know it goes. And so I think that was a really cool experience. And shout out Liz Howard.
We have a partnership with them now, so we're doing this live at the Second City. Comedy Dance Chicago presents Happy Dance.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll be here Saturdays, March 21st through the end of May, every other Saturday at 2 p.m. So I'm personally very excited for a matinee. And then I can be home and on my couch by like 6. And go to
This
bed.
is real talk. It's
at
not a joke
go to
at all.
bed, still get your REM cycle in.
Yeah.
You know, all that
Going
good
to bed
stuff.
at 9:30 sounds so nice.
Honestly, the
Like,
older I get, the
It
nicer
doesn't
matinees.
happen often, but it is fabulous.
And like when you're
does.
young, you always want to fight it. Like, I don't want to go to bed now. I want to be in bed at like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're like midnight, dude. Ain't nothing, man.
No, it's just like once 8
too
o'clock
young.
rolls around, I'm like,
I turned 28 and I was like, dude, I want to be in bed by 9.
yeah,
Like,
because
the
what is
latest.
there after that? You know what I mean? Like,
Like, what is
Sleep is good. We all need sleep.
And I think also,
what is there about anything after that, dude?
I think also after doing a show like this, it's so high energy. So it takes a minute to kind of come down. Like if you end a show at 10:30, your body's like,
Yeah, you're
what
riding
do
a
I
high.
do? Yeah, I'm riding high. It's now 11:30 and I'm adrenaline filled for
Yeah,
some
it's
reason.
like if Ron was trying to get like a 9 p.m. workout at the gym and didn't have that time to
that
cool
used
down,
to mess
baby.
me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I worked at a restaurant, I'd have to go after work sometimes. And I'd be like sitting up 3 a.m. I'm like, man, I really can't go to sleep.
It's strange because
like,
you're tired, but you're wired up.
yeah.
You got all those adrenalines.
Totally.
So only matinees. That's kind of cool. Do you guys have like a preference between? I mean, you kind of answered between matinees and later shows.
Well, I mean, like for the family friendly, the matinee works a little better.
Sure.
They're both so fun. They're different beasts.
Yeah.
I love them both.
How'd you explain those different audiences from a matinee to an evening?
I mean, I
those
think it's
who
the
don't
family
know.
show, right? Is like, hey, it's only at 2 p.m. You don't have to worry about dinner. You don't have to worry about all these things. You can have the rest of your day. You can.
It's very child friendly.
Yeah. And I think the idea
schedule
is
friendly.
come to Chicago, go get lunch, come see a show, and you'll be back at your home before you have to put the kids to bed. And it's not, because I have 2 kids of my own, and going to a show at night, it's like, okay, now I've kept them up beyond their bedtime, so now they're
They're
pissed.
also wired.
Yeah, they're
pissed and wired.
Even if they had a good time, afterwards just becomes really difficult. And so having something at 2 p.m. that you can just be like, we had such a fun day. What a fun day. And you can talk
let's
about it on the way
decompress
home.
and have fun.
you have dinner at your house and you're just done with the day.
You
And I
can,
think
it gives you enough time to get back into what is a standard routine for them
Yeah.
to be like, cool, wait, we're back home now.
all my suburbs people, they're like, oh, thank God.
I
Thank God.
know,
Thank
I
God.
know.
2
Yes,
p.m.
they are.
Fantastic. And they're so excited.
They don't have to fight traffic or nothing like that getting down here for a show. In
they
the
can just
evening.
like have a fun time, go eat a little lunch in Chicago and have a little day out.
a little brunch and mimosas
Yeah.
and then go see a show.
Go see
Fuck
the
yeah,
bees.
dude. Hell yeah.
And it really is fun for all ages. We had an email a few years ago from a gentleman that was like, I was traveling through the area. I caught the show with my mother. My 95-year-old mother loved it. So
dude.
like, 5-year-old. Well, now we've had 3-month-old. Your son was was at a show once. So our youngest audience member ever was 3 months, and then our oldest that we know of was 95.
I mean, we
So-
had another baby before that. Don't remember.
But I don't think they were 3 months.
Oh, and they went
Yeah.
back quite that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
I was about to
enough.
say, you heard it here, y'all. 3 months to 95 years old. They got a little something for everybody.
Everybody.
But once you're
Announce the
96,
baby to
that's
the
it.
music?
Like
Yeah,
96
no, we
can't
do
come.
not accept 96-year-olds.
Yeah, if you cross that 96 threshold, you stay your ass at home, dude. You're not welcome.
You should be in bed anyway.
So I know we're getting a little bit close to time, but there's obviously still a couple more questions that we want to get through. So you mentioned you already kind of plugged the show a little bit. what type of preparation when you're looking at like moving your show from venue to venue? Obviously, not all venues look the same. Like, how was it prepping for a stage like Second City versus when you guys go to do corporate events or do schools or anything like that? Was like, does that change the process a little bit of the creative process a little bit?
No, not really. I mean, we might if we're creating a show in a venue for the first time, we might be like, okay, they've got these doors and this curtain. We're gonna incorporate that into this piece. But really, it's just the tech.
I think we've done our show on so many over the years, so many tiny places, massive
you gotta
places.
tell about the tiny place.
Which tiny place?
The platform.
Oh my god! So love to death. We did a show one time where we walked in and it was a platform, maybe like 6 foot by 5 feet, maybe 4 by 8.
Yeah.
And they had big. They're like, oh, we want to make sure it doesn't fall, so we're going to put cinder blocks on the corners so it doesn't fall. So
Some
now
real
we have
makeshift
cinder
shit.
blocks on the sides too. So we're dancing on this thing, and we just figured it out. We just are like, okay, we'll do some more in the audience. We'll make sure that this works out, and I think
It was a fun experience.
yeah, and it's
experiment.
It was it was a great show. Honestly, like it seemed so silly in the moment, but we were so with the audience. The audience was like around us that like the energy was really fun. And so I think the more we do these things, like I remember we did the Woodstock Opera House, which is just a massive place, but you couldn't hear any of the laughs, like because it's so they're so far away from you. So that's a very different vibe as well. Like we had plenty of spaces to dance, but I was like, do they hate this so much?
You're not getting any of those sort of
I'm
that
getting
audience validation.
Like how you said earlier, I was getting no validation, and then you watch the video back, and they're all laughing. They just couldn't hear it.
They're cheering. They're throwing their hats. And you just can't see it. You're just like,
You're just in an opera house.
You have to trust them.
Yeah, and so I think we just sort of adjust on the fly usually.
Yeah, so it's not a real huge hurdle to have to adjust from stage.
What's
We're
the word?
turnkey.
I was about to say a turnkey process.
Yeah.
Like when you guys are traveling or touring and stuff, do you like when a lot of comedians, I can fucking speak, when a lot of comedians are traveling, they do the same skit in like different areas? Like, is that how you are when you travel, or is like everything different every single time?
You change your rotation of sketches, things like that.
Depends on our cast, really.
Yeah.
Who's in that particular show.
And also what we're feeling at that moment. Like we do that process every year. So we kind of pull in what we're excited about, who's in the cast, where we are. Like Toronto right now, we're about to be there next week, and we're doing almost a completely different thing than we did last year. But the year before,
It's totally new.
Totally new,
None of it's the same.
But we're just excited to do that. Realistically, if we were like, okay, here's a corporate event, we're getting paid to do it, we need to do our best, we probably wouldn't try all new material like that. But this is such a fun audience to try it out on that it's just well worth the time to do.
Our opener and closer tends to be the same, and then we have some pieces that we're like, okay, the kids don't get that one as much. Let's swap that out for this one, or yeah.
That's a good call. We do learn the zeitgeist of what kids understand pretty quickly. They do not know the Titanic. They know of the Titanic, but they don't know Titanic, the movie references.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which we do have a good amount.
That's hilarious. Actually, honestly, that's something I've had to like because I host game shows and as one of my day jobs. And whenever we do kid shows and stuff, I have to like ask myself like, oh, what references do you all know?
Yeah.
And what's gonna make sense? Because I'll make a pop culture reference, and they're just like, Jesus Christ, you old man.
I
was
know.
like,
Well, we've
I'll
had
make an emo rock reference, and they're just like, ew, millennial cringe. And I'm like, whoops.
We've had to learn to like, okay, let's switch out our transition songs between these pieces so that it's more relatable to the younger audience.
That's funny.
But at the same time, I think if you do too much of that, they're just like, we can't relate to them too much, but not enough.
Yeah.
It's a very weird balance.
It's like, they don't want you playing all their music because they're just like, oh, they're trying so
They
hard.
also
What
hear
about
that everywhere, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So for someone looking, so this is a twofold question. For someone looking to get into comedy, and then maybe someone who is looking to start their own sort of comedy group or company like you guys have, like what would be some of the advice that you guys would give those individuals who are looking to get started?
Learn to use Excel.
Now is that and Ron exits stage left.
Communication is huge. Talk to people. Get coffee with people that are doing what you want to do. I do that a lot. Over the last year, I've invited a lot of people to coffee, and it's just a great way to, get your own self inspired and more ideas flowing. And yeah.
So just surround yourself.
Communication.
Communication.
And I think what lasts longer is be genuine with what you want to do. Like, I think whenever you go into it, you're like, I want to be funny, so I'm going to do what everyone's doing around me so I can make a thing that's popular and do these things. What's going to last a lot longer is like, this is what I think is really funny, and I'm going to do what I think is funny, not what, and hope that it works, right? If you're doing things that just for the audience, then you're going to burn out eventually, because now you're just changing your content for what works all the time instead of being like, this is what I think is funny.
And I think that's why we've not jumped on TikTok quite so much. We haven't jumped on the TikTok trends regularly because we're like, we want to do what we think is funny, not what
the internet is telling us that's funny, or like that a lot of people are doing and jumping on trends for. Because that's what is another good point, is like finding originality in a comedic space seems to be a little bit tough right now because of how much social media and trends seem to be like picked up on and ran with so often. It's like have you ever had that happen where like you'll notice like a popular trend and be like, well, we did something kind of like that? Or
I mean, they do say like there's all ideas have been done before. Like you hear that all the time to some degree. Even with husband-wife relationships, for me and my husband, like something that we do or think is funny, and then I see a reel and somebody else does the same thing, I'm like, oh, that's just like an innate human thing to do that I didn't realize.
funny.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Improvise.
I think, the TikTok thing. I think it's not an easy thing to do, but I think whenever you see someone's TikTok and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that trend, it's a fun thing to do, and it works a lot. But I think the things that worked for us specifically is putting out our content, putting out jokes that we think is funny. That's the stuff that really kind of gets a lot more traction than any of our, because we've done some of the different TikTok trends over time. And they get fine views, but the stuff that we're like, okay, we're proud of this, we'll put some time into it, that's what ends up working a lot more.
Finding more traction.
And it blew up on Facebook since we saw you. We had like 500 followers on Facebook. Now we're over 65,000.
Dude, that's so cool.
It was crazy.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you do anything on YouTube or?
Yeah, we have like,
we're trying to get used to YouTube Shorts, so we've been throwing things up on all
Just
the
like us,
platforms.
because we have like videos that are like
Shout
in
out
the
to Caitlin.
millions of views and things, but we don't have the followers as well. They just sort of, they just watch it and they don't subscribe.
Yeah.
They're just like, ha ha ha. And then they go on, which is nice.
I don't subscribe to things. But our YouTube subscribers did pop up too.
They did pop. You're right.
We're
You're
at
right.
like over
But
5,000.
isn't it more about the view? I mean, obviously subscriptions are very important, but like the views and likes and comments are like those are.
And it's
shares and saves on Instagram are what
Shares and
are
saves.
popular right now.
and
or helpful.
Yeah.
it's a sad reality that I think also that the more we get these videos that really blow up, it's easier for us to like go to these venues and be like, look, 10 million people liked this thing. Trust that it's going to probably work. And it doesn't always say ticket sales ideally, but at the same time, it is a nice thing to have from time to time of just like, here's our good social media elements.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it bridges the gap, or it kind of like helps facilitate a denser relationship between the audience and you guys to have that view, to have those views and to be able to kind of speak to them. Because like you said, just because you have 10 million views on a reel doesn't mean you're going to sell 10 million tickets, but it means 10 million people are watching, and that like if you have more of those people who come to see a show, then further kind of share and spread it. It's like now it's like not only just Comedy Dance Chicago, it's wherever the venue is too, starting to get
and our
that
favorite
notice
things
too.
is not the views and our things is the comments and the people have reached out because of this.
We got 2 emails in the last week. One from somebody in New Jersey saying, let us know when you're in New York or New Jersey. You've got fans up here.
Dude, nice.
And then somebody in Australia was like, it's 3 a.m. I just laughed at your videos and my wife grunted at me because she's
just woke
sleeping.
her up.
Yeah.
And they emailed us. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a comment or a message. They like took the time to do that.
It made me
And
so happy.
It made me so happy.
It made me tear up a little bit.
So you guys actually read those. So if you do or you do email Comedy in Chicago, they actually read those.
do.
We have 2 videos right now that one of them is if you find the pinata on the video, I will give you a sincere compliment. And I have been doing them all. And the other one is, I forget the other one, but either way, we attempt to interact as much as we can. I think it's fun.
It makes it personal. It makes it, I don't know, from I think looking at it from like a audience or someone who consumes that type of media, like it's not quote unquote maybe the biggest deal in the world, but it does feel kind of special. It's like, I'm noticed by someone who's dope and cool.
Well, and our mission, right, for our live shows, I'm like, it's kind of going over into our social. I'm like, we're reaching people we had somebody from Russia comment on a YouTube video and was like, thank you for, this was a nice little bit of joy for me. And I was like, we're doing that for people around the world now. And it's so exciting.
That's cool.
There's a thread that I read from time to time still. It was on we have a video where these two girls play her boobs, and she does a monologue about these boobs. But then there was it blew up as well. But there was a whole thread of women who have had mastectomies all just laughing. They're all just like, yeah, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. And they all laugh and they all support it. And it's just a beautiful thread of people on the internet being like, yeah, I don't have to worry about it. And they just make jokes with each other and for each other. And it's so, I love it.
By the way, my goal is to do that piece at some breast cancer awareness event. So if you're watching this and you have an event,
hello at
contact
comedydancechicago.com.
We got the sketch for you. It's a little bit more on social media before we kind of wrap things up. Is like, so obviously there's a lot of toxicity on the internet. There's a lot of that kind of bullshit floating around social media. Like, have you guys had a lot of experience with that? And how do you guys go about maneuvering around that, both personally and from a social media standpoint?
Tell them.
I want you to know I'm 100% laying you up because I saw a post you posted the other day and I figured I just might as well lay you up so you can dunk it.
It does. It's always going to bother you. I don't think anyone does social media and it doesn't you can get used to anything, but there's so much. I mean, we are predominantly female identifying group. And so we get a lot of posts that are like, there's never been a funny female comedian. There's never been a funny girl. We get a lot of that. And it's so funny to me because I'll look at this and I'll be like, guy, there are 6,000 comments enjoying this.
Yeah,
there are millions of people who have watched this joke that have enjoyed it. And you want to come in and be like, no, this is not funny. And I'm just like, get out of here. Yeah. Like, it's just a weird
shut the hell up.
Pull of
I think
joy.
those are worth deleting because we don't even just see them anymore.
We don't get much other negative, honestly. That's kind of it.
That is so sad,
so
though.
Weird.
That is so sad, though.
There's some people that are like, this isn't funny.
Sure,
like
whatever.
Here and
like
there.
generally or
General,
whatever.
like, I don't enjoy this, which is such a weird thing to spend your time. Like, I hate this thing. Moving on.
I need to tell you that this sucks.
My opinion must be made known.
What? It's like the bean soup theory, right? Have you ever heard the bean soup theory?
No.
The bean soup. Well, let me tell you about it. The bean soup
I like
theory.
beans and I like soup, so this sounds. I'm intrigued.
There was a online video.
Wait, bean soup or being?
Bean soup.
Oh,
there was.
I was right. Bean soup.
You were
Bean soup. There was a video online that was like, here's how to make this delicious bean soup. And it got overtaken by all these people being like, well, what if I don't like beans? What if I am allergic to beans? What if I don't enjoy beans? And it's sort of the theory that, like, then don't make bean soup. That piece of content's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for people who like, I like beans. I'd like to make bean soup. And that's sort of the theory that a lot of people on the line just come out to be like, I want to be heard.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to do online, and I think everyone should do this, because you can argue with anyone and that's what they want. I love to be like, explain further, please. And
Like,
that's all
I'm
I'll
not
say.
going to argue. Yeah.
I'm not going to argue. I'm like, explain further. Why aren't they funny? And see, most people do
They
a
pull
big
back,
old
yeah,
reverse
180.
or don't respond.
Yeah.
And because they're just like, they
Well,
want.
I don't mean they're not funny. I just mean.
Just for me, that I'm like, great, you said it right there. For me, this isn't for me. And thank you so much for your time and your comments.
Bye.
And so we've had, that's all we'll ever say. That's all I'll ever say.
Honestly, it's a smart
It's like,
approach to it.
explain further
Yeah.
if you would like to. And if they
You took the time for your opinion to be known. Explain.
yeah,
Go
explain.
ahead.
And not to mention, almost every single time, there's a good amount of people underneath that are like, this guy sucks, this guy's whatever. I'm like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Don't give him any
Yeah.
credit. Just see what he's like. He wants to be heard. So
Because he probably enjoys those comments.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He 100%. He wants to be.
Which is so weird to me. So
Yeah.
odd. It's like reverse validation. It's like no one's validating you, but at the same time you're being validated in the toxic.
I would say on the opposite side of this coin, we have almost thousands of incredibly lovely comments, all being like, "This made my day better." This, thing.
That's awesome.
And that's what I love about most of all of our content in general.
Love. Any other questions? Any last minute questions, Ron, before we wrap up this episode?
I don't think so, no.
All right. So guys, shameless plug time. Couple actually. So one, if anybody wanted to reach out to you guys either via socials or emails, how to do that. How often do you guys hold auditions if people are interested in auditioning for you guys? And then another Second City plug.
You can email us at hello@comedydancechicago.com or follow us on socials at
Comedy Dance Chicago or Comedy Dance Shy
On Facebook.
On Facebook, because our Facebook was hacked and stolen at one point.
Years ago.
Years
we were
ago.
fighting them
We
over
never got it
Thanksgiving.
back.
Hey, if anybody works for Facebook and can help us get that name back, let me know.
It has 1,000 followers.
Like there's some people.
Yeah, there's some people.
What was your next question?
If how often you're holding auditions, or when do you have more auditions planned?
Every year or two.
Every year or two. How would people find audition information?
Social media.
Follow us. Yeah.
Follow us. More social media.
I mean, we have email lists if you want to be on those, if that's more helpful. I know some people are getting off social media entirely.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends are just on the email list, not on this. They're like, I still want to know. I don't want to be left out. And I'm like, go get on there. And, but we don't do it fairly really often.
Sort of as needed, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we might need some more female identifying individuals that are available during the day for school shows.
Because I'm getting a lot more of those. And because this family show specifically also was, okay, can we also do, other kid shows around this as well?
Yeah. And then another shameless plug for your show here at Second City.
Live at the Second City, Comedy Dance Chicago presents
Happy Dance.
March 21st, April 4th, April 18th, May 2nd, May 16th, May 30th at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Oh, I was so impressed that you just listed all the
you were
dates
cooking.
like that.
I've typed them out a lot.
I was in awe of that moment, and I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
But once again, shout out to Second City for letting us record with you guys. Huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to Comedy Dance Chicago. For those listening or watching on YouTube, if you have any questions for us at Out of the Rut, you could always reach out to us at outoftherut@yahoo.com. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to give Caitlin some love behind the camera.
We love you, Caitlin.
We would be nothing without Caitlin, so make sure to give her some love. Don't forget, we also have our subreddit. If you ever want to submit an anonymous story or question of you being in a rut, etc., there's our subreddit, Out of the Rut Podcast, social media, Out of the Rut Podcast, Facebook, all that good stuff. But this feels like a good wrapping point for us. So y'all stay lit, never quit, and remember, keep on dancing.
Yay, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.